We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. The tragedy of life is what dies inside a man while he lives. I am always doing that which I cannot do, in order that I may learn how to do it. Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask, and he will tell you the truth. The most important thing in communication is to hear what isn't being said. Change is neither good or bad, it simply is. What we think and do about change determines its value. If one tells the truth, one is sure, sooner or later, to be found out. The time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time. You don't get harmony when everybody sings the same note. No one has ever become poor by giving. The best minds are not in government. If any were, business would steal them away. Do what you can, where you are with what you have. You can never plan the future by the past. You don't start learning by knowing, you start learning by not knowing. It takes more courage to reveal insecurities than to hide them. You may be disappointed if you fail, but you are doomed if you don't try. When you cease to make a contribution, you begin to die. Great men cultivate love, they never pass it by if it is for them to achieve anything great or good. It's not whether we lose the game, but how we play the game. There is no such thing as a saintly minority. If a man is in heart gentle and pure, it makes no difference if all the world beside are fierce and perverse. I always believe in being prepared, even when I'm dressed in white tie and tails. It is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. We can do anything we want if only we devote our entire lives to it. Love is like war, easy to begin but very hard to stop. There is no easy walk to freedom anywhere, and many of us will have to pass through the valley of the shadow of death again and again before we reach the mountaintop of our desires. It's impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case, you fail by default. We can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorn bushes have roses. No man is an island, entire of itself, every man is a piece of the continent. You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is like an ocean, if a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. To give pleasure to a single heart by a single act is better than 1,000 heads bowing in prayer. If you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to work with your enemy. Then he becomes your partner. No man has learned anything rightly until he knows that every day is doomsday. The hardest thing to explain is the glaringly evident which everybody had decided not to see. No one can hurt me without my permission. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. A man who was completely innocent offered himself as a sacrifice for the good of others, including his enemies, and became the ransom of the world. It was a perfect act. A coward is incapable of exhibiting love, it is the prerogative of the brave. I was taught that the only thing worth doing was to add to the sum of accurate information in the world. The greatest test of courage on earth is to bear defeat without losing heart. It is possible for us to measure the justice or injustice of a situation by noting whether or not people feel good at the end of it all. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Light thinks it travels faster than anything, but it is wrong. No matter how fast light travels, it finds the darkness has always got there first, and is waiting for it. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. Life is not easy for any of us, but what of that? We must have perseverance and above all confidence in ourselves. We must believe that we are gifted for something and it is our duty to develop it. The human heart has hidden treasures, in secret kept, in silence sealed. People can foresee the future only when it coincides with their own wishes, and the most grossly obvious facts can be ignored when they are unwelcome. Forgiveness does not change the past, but it does enlarge the future. To be able to stand alone and think out loud is the only form of freedom man has. Sometimes I feel discriminated against, but it does not make me angry. It merely astonishes me. How can any deny themselves the pleasure of my company? It's beyond me. Every strike brings me closer to the next home run. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared with what lies within us. Never forgive a friend who betrayed you once, he will betray you again. Those who are happiest are those who do the most for others. I long to accomplish a great and noble task, but it is my chief duty to accomplish small tasks as if they were great and noble. I suppose leadership at one time meant muscles, but today it means getting along with people. When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad. That's my religion.